Axie fam is in the house. Sometimes in my videos you'll hear me yell stop it or like leave me alone. I'm talking, look, to her. She has her own chair because she won't leave me alone if she doesn't have her own throne. Look at me. I have a chair. Go do this. I know, fam. A lot of y'all are frustrated because I won't do a spike video, or I haven't done. In my last video, click right there if you haven't watched it yet, in my sandal video. After thinking about it and thinking about the terms of service, I don't think I want to make a spike video. Because, let's go over a replay and I'll kind of explain why I don't think I want to do a spike video, right? Because you're really taking advantage of an exploit. And let's talk about the exploit and then we'll get into the video. Timestamps down in the description. Let's get into it. Here's the Spiky Boys video you wanted. The thing we're exploiting is Prehistoric Armour. It's supposed to give you three extra blood spikes, from spikes to blood spikes, right? So instead of getting 1 to 5, you're supposed to get a 1 to 8 ratio. It's supposed to be how it works. But right now, the way it's been working, there's like a bug. The way it's programmed is like not to check to see if itself is getting hit. Instead, it's just checking to see if something is getting hit. I was trying to find a way to illustrate my point here. Here's a good example of what's going on. There's a card type usage check, right? Was there an attack? And it says, yes. Was this Axie hit? Yes, right? It says, no, do nothing. Yes. And then it checks, has spike? Yes. Does it have armor? Yes. If yes, give 3 extra blood spikes. But this should be checking this, right? It's for some reason not. Instead of it going like, hey, let's go ahead and instead of it going here, right? It says, does it have armor? Then it should say, right? This is currently, and it should have this right here, right? Should say, yes, remove 1 spike, apply 5 blood spike, and then give 3 extra blood spikes. That's how it should read. So it says, has spike, it got hit. Does it have armor? Yes. Remove 1 spike and apply 5 blood spike. Give 3 extra blood spikes. That should be last, right? So if it doesn't, then it just says, does it have armor? Then no. Then you remove 1 spike and add 5 blood spike. I'll cut to it in a second so I can illustrate what the loop for this looks like. This is how it should look, right? Because it's checking first to see if the Axie was hit. So we're going to cut here in a second and it's going to be a little bit different. All right, so you can see in this version, it's a little bit different. Does it have spike? Yes. Does it have armor? Yes or no? Does it have armor? Yes or no? If no, was there an attack? No, do nothing. Right? It says armor? Yes. Was there attack? Yes. Was it Axie hit? No. Do nothing. Was it hit? Yes. Remove 1 spike and apply 5 blood spike. So this is like kind of what it's doing. But what it's doing is instead of it going through here to do a check, it's doing this, right? So this isn't actually checking for an attack. This is just saying, hey, does it actually have spike? Yes. Does it have armor? Yes. If so, give 3 extra blood spikes. Like this is when a card is played, right? So we don't have a card usage type check, right? So it's like one big mess instead of it being compartmentalized. A card was played. Does it have spike? Yes. If it has armor? No. Was it an attack? No. Do nothing, right? That makes sense. But when it says when a card is played, has spike? Yes. Does it have armor? Yes. Give 3 extra blood spikes. It's not checking. It's not going through this little section. It's not programmed correctly. All right, correctly would be, does it have spike? Yes. Armor? Yes. Remove 1 spike. Give 3 extra blood spikes. It's not doing that. Something being damaged or something like that is the trigger. I'm not too sure what the trigger is. Because sometimes it triggers on like random cards. When you play an attack card, it triggers. And then sometimes it's like it only when your guy takes damage. There might be a trigger here that I don't know. It's like, was their damage dealt? So this is the change that needs made, right? Like, right, because they're not doing the attack card check. And that's where like part of the problem stems from. This would be like kind of how it would be changed to fit theirs, right? So does it have spike? No. Was there an attack? No. Do nothing. there was a card played, so this is like more of what it would look like. Does it have spike? Yes. Was there an attack? No, do nothing. But if it has spikes, yes. Was there attack? Yes. Does it actually hit? Yes. Does it have armor? Yes. You would go give it 3 extra blood spikes and remove 1 spike. Apply 5 blood spikes. Or you'd say like add 3 to the number of blood spikes given whenever blood spikes are given, right? So you'd say like plus 3 to blood spike triggers. Something like that, whatever. And that way this would give 8 instead of 5, right? Because this one would give it 5. So it wouldn't go through this. That's the idea. Anyways, this is the only way I could really explain it. And because it's wrong here, I feel really dirty playing it. Especially when you're playing it for SLP and ranked. And you're taking advantage of like people that are playing the jellyfish deck, which I don't want to play. I don't know, I have mixed feelings about it all. But yeah, so there's a problem with it, the programming, right? So this is how it should be. Or this is how, I guess these are both correct now. But anyways, nerd stuff. Nerd stuff. So if you understand programming a little bit, you kind of get what I'm saying for some reason, right? So once our guy starts accumulating spikes, if our guy with Prehistoric Armor has any spikes on him, anytime anything is hit, he starts receiving his 3 bonus prehistoric triggers, right? And that results in him like 140 spikes, blood spikes sometimes, right? Which makes the tri-spikes each hit for like 130, 140. You know, there's really no limit. So right there we got a 90 damage tri-spikes. Oh, we play the gill. This is not the ideal setup. What you actually want is you want 2 guys with incisors on your front and your mid, and you always use your incisors on the back, right? And you're only doing 20 damage to it, and then you're applying 3 spikes, and that really compounds everything. So that's more ideal. This is just some Axies that I had. This is the guy we picked up specifically for the Blood Spikes team very early on when they released the spike mechanic. I went and bought this pure reptile, right? 7 out of 7 with only 1 breed on him. Got him for pretty cheap too. So our opponent's playing a double anemone and then this topaz backliner, right? So he can have a couple cards in his banish pile. Huge tiny dino coming out on this guy. Go and hit him with a gill, take out his frontliner. And we curve spine, see, curve spine. Oh, actually that one has the charm that gives you 5 and makes him lose 20 HP. Big saddle coming down from my opponent. Gill to finish off our frontliner. So right now it's a 2v2. His guys are very healthy. He has a big shield up here. Can we win this one? We go ahead and play a Skelly Spear. It's going to give this guy some spikes. Guitaro is going to give us some energy. Revenge Sword and then Tri-Spikes last. So that one did 90. We only have 10 here. And now this is what like a typical Tri-Spikes like spike team would look like. Right, you have your double Skelly Spear. You're just getting spikes on your front, spikes on your mid, spikes on the backliner. So if your opponent kills your front, they take a bunch of damage. Kill your mid, take a bunch of damage. I would like to see the frontliner to actually run Last Wish. So you get a bunch of spikes on it, blows up, triggers the blood spikes, and it triggers the Last Wish. So they could take like between like 40 and 90 damage from your front line getting killed. So that's pretty sweet. Our opponent using some Revenge Swords, opting not to play the Pincer. I think Pincer is a very good card, actually. 120 shields for 1 energy is actually very strong. So incisors the guy. We got 20 here from the trigger from the charm. Iguana to block the healing here. Not like he actually has any healing. I was just so used to anemone healing, right? Our opponent, drawing kind of wonky, plays the Risky Fish, takes 20 damage from the Reflect. Plays the topaz, doesn't quite finish our guy off, plays the gill, pops the blood spike, kills his frontliner, almost kills his midliner, and now we have our tri-spike boy up front versus, you know, 87 effective health. So our opponent's dead here. We got an incisor, 25, now our tri-spikes, each hit's gonna hit for like a bunch, even though we have the snail shell. This game wasn't us exploiting the mechanic. Now let's go into the game where we are exploiting the mechanic, and why the Tri-Spikes team, I think, is bad for the look of the game. Same as the Bubble Maker team, right? You have a Bubble Maker with bubble paste, and you play it every turn on your frontliner with calcium armor. So that frontliner with calcium armor is indestructible, right? Every single turn, it's getting one bubble. Your teammates are getting one bubble from the Bubble Maker trigger from it going on top of your deck, which it should not be doing. Effective health is like through the roof, right? This is what it looks like, and this is the deck people are playing. Not maybe this exact version, but something similar. So we're playing our Shady Exchange in the front, we're playing Healing Force on the mid, and we're playing our Prehistoric Armour in the back. These guys don't really matter. As long as they have incisors and they can trigger the Prehistoric Armour, you're good. Because they put 3 spikes on it. And now here comes at us exploiting a broken mechanic. So our guy, anytime he gets hit, 1 spike should convert to 8 blood spikes. But instead, anytime anything's hit, our blood spike guy is getting 3 from Prehistoric Armour. So like right there, he got 9 free blood spikes, which he should not have gotten. So that's the problem. Our frontliners hit, Prehistoric Armour triggers, something was hit. We have spikes, give us 3 blood spikes. Like there's something wrong in the programming. It's not checking to see if it got hit, right? So I don't know if you know this, but Healing Force drains your team based off how many people you have on board, and then drains them, heals you, right? So you can keep your Mavises alive for a long time. So right there, hit our guy. That's the only time we got an actual prehistoric trigger. It took one of our spikes and turned it into 8 blood spikes, like it's supposed to. But there we got a trigger from something healing, and our guy triggered. Not correct, right? It's not part of the game. You hit him with a tremendous earwing here. Hit him with a yam. That's triggering the blood spikes, which it should not be. Now we got tri-spikes. 106, 109, 112. Do you think that's balanced? I don't think it's balanced. I mean, that's a lot of setup. Like, that's a big setup, right? But it's so strong, and it's only strong because the mechanics aren't working right. The programming in the actual card are wrong. Healing Force, get a little bit of HP. We play our Mavis and trying to keep him from getting an energy burst. Trigger the lagging. We get a goo. We play kind of defensively. We put a bunch of shields on our frontliner. Try to keep him alive. We really want to redraw our tri-spikes. Opponent plays another Chubby. They always have Chubby every time I play Mavis. So it's our turn again. We have 4 energy. We're going in for the incisors to trigger the blood spikes. Gives us 3 extra. Buzz. We're up to 125. We're going to go ahead and hit a Tricky on our frontliner, shield it up, and then an enormous 114 damage. Tiny Dino triggering the thing whenever something was hit. And now our guy has 128 blood spikes. So each of our tri-spikes is going to hit for like, what, 150? So it's going to hit for 450 damage for 1 energy, right? Like, what? Here's the play. Incisors. So we go and yam. Try to get the Clover off the board so our tri-spikes can get a triple kill here. Tricky the front. We incisor the backliner. 154 blood spikes. The 174 damage per tri-spike. Our opponent looking grim. Cannot get our guys taken out in time. 160. Big 1v3 here. What are we going to draw but the tri-spikes and the big finish here? 190, 196, 190. What? That is much as I'm going to give you for the tri-spikes team. Obviously, there's a problem. And people are abusing that problem. And as an Axie contributor, I don't want to be one of those people. I'm not condoning it. We did find that, and now we need to playtest a whole bunch of stuff and find any other bugs that we can, right? That's the whole point of this. So when people are just playing you know, 9 jellyfish charms on their triple aqua setup and just like playing cards, just like 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5. Feels kind of lame because we're not getting enough play testing done because people are playing this stuff. Okay, we found a bug here. Let's play something else. See if we can find some other interesting interactions, which leads me to my next video. My next video, click here. These should come out at the same time. And this one, boom, right there. Because this team is dirty. It's so dirty. Hit the like and subscribe button. Share this with your friends. That's as much as you're going to get for the Spiky Boys team. Leave a comment down below of the next thing I should try. It's like $11, dude. I'm not even kidding. It's $11. 11 for the whole team, not a single Axie. We're talking like $4, $5, and $6. I think I got one for 3, one for 2, and one for 6. Anyways, go on. I bought it with SLP. I purchased it with SLP for my wallet. That's how cheap it was. Anyways, thanks for watching.